Alright everybody, attention. We let him get away with a win last time. That will not be happening again, or it's all on X. Let's do it right this time. We've got people paying good money to see these people win and lose. It's up to us to make it happen. Let's go!
Hello everyone, Shroomraver here, and welcome to the third battle of PPL NX. Yes indeed, today we are going to be taking on Incog and Backs to the Future. Here's links down in the description below, make sure you check them out. Very, very nasty fat team we're going up against today. Incog can choose from Iron Hands, Ting-Lu, Latias, Petulant, Titan, Vaporeon, Cinccino, Sceptile, Volcanion, and Bronzong. Really tough nut to crack this one. Lots of bulk, lots of nasty things that can do nasty stuff to my team. We are going to be starting off with Clear Amulet Iron Treads, Max Attack Adamant with a lot of Spadef investment and some nominal speed to creep a few things here and there. Earthquake, Body Press, Ice Spinner, and Iron Defense. With a couple of Iron Defenses up, this thing can do a lot of damage to a lot of things. Clear Amulet is there, so this thing can pretty much wall out Petulant to make sure it can't go for parting shots, whilst of course being immune to the Malignant Chain. Following that, we have very, very physically bulky and offensive Citrus Berry Primarina, 200 in defense, max special attack modest. We have Moonblast, Psychic Noise, Encore, and Light Screen. Encore going to be on there as we are outspeeding the likes of Iron Hands and Ting-Lu. If you want to get risky and stay in on them setting up, then we can Encore them into stuff. Light Screen is going to be good to maintain this as an option for the Volcanion. Moonblast and Psychic Noise go pretty hard into my opponent's team outside of stuff like the Bronzong, but we have other ways and means of dealing with that. One of those potentially being our Black Glasses Ogerpon coming back to the team, standard.jpg max jolly, with Ivy Cudgel, Knockoff, Low Kick, and Spikes. Be good to get some spikes up here. Removal options on my team on my opponent's team, I should say, look to be non-existent outside of Tidy Up Cinccino. Something like a Black Glasses boost to the knockoff will help against the likes of the Latias and the Petulant, and indeed the Bronzong. Following that, we have our second Citrus Berry user. This is physically defensive Mesprit with Psychic Noise, Knockoff, U-Turn, and Stealth Rock. This is a pretty solid looking lead, along with the Ogerpon. We can knock off with Impunity, get some rocks up where we can, U-turn around. It's a fairly standard looking Mesprit. Psychic Noise, good to stop potential healing on the Lati, on the Petulant, on the Vaporeon. Bunch of things that don't want to be hit with Psychic Noise, basically. Then we have a potential win con here in Dragon Dance, Choppleberry, Hydreigon. Outrage, Crunch, and Earthquake are the moves of choice. Max Attack Adamant. After a boost, we're outspeeding pretty much everything that's going. And yeah, this can be used either as a setup win con in the endgame or to break early to mid. Something like a Ting-Lu or an Iron Hands isn't going to appreciate a couple of Dragon Dance boosted outrages, especially with the Choppleberry, to negate the likes of Drain Punch and Body Press. Final member of the team is a mixed defensive Dusknoir making its debut with the Rocky Helmet. Frisk, always useful to see what items people are running. We have Shadow Sneak, Brick Break, Willow, and Pain Split. Brick Break, useful for getting rid of screens as always, we know this. Shadow Sneak is going to be pretty much my best option for hitting things. Willow, super useful against the likes of Iron Hands, Ting-Lu, Titan, potentially even the Sceptile depending on what it's going for. And this should be able to tank any number of hits from the Cinccino and get a Willow or Pain Split off there. So that's the team we are running with, a little bit experimental with Physical Hydreigon and a Dusknoir. But yeah, let's get into the battle screen and see what Incog has decided to bring against us. So, as you can see, Incog has decided to bring Latias, Vaporeon, Volcanion, Sceptile, Ting-Lu, and Cinccino. So no Iron Hands is really cool to see. Wasn't overly looking forward to taking that thing on. Looking at my opponent's team, Mesprit was sort of cited as a potential lead, but I think Ogerpon is going to be better here. So Ogerpon is going to be what I choose to lead with. let's see how Incog decides to respond. So, here we go with the third battle of PPL NX versus Incog and Backs to the Future. He is going to be leading off with the Latias, as we are going to go with Ogerpon. This is fine, I'm quite happy with this lead. It's a speed tie, technically, unless they are not running max speed on the Lati. And Lati can sometimes go as a bulky set, so I'm happy to stay in here and just go for that big Black Glasses boosted knockoff and see how much damage we can do to this guy. So, in comes the knockoff. We're taking the risk of agility weakness policy off rip, but it turns out it's a leftovers variant and we do a huge amount of damage. In comes Dragon Pulse. That's not doing an inordinate amount to me. It's not even a 2-hit KO from that range. Now, thinking that they might want to save the Lati and try and heal up on, for example, the Mesprit later down the line, I'm going to switch up my moves and go for Ivy Cudgel. Also thinking that they might expect me to be a choice variant here and switch into the Ting-Lu. Ivy Cudgel would be great on that. Knockoff would also be fine, I guess, but I do want to try and make aggressive plays early here, so I am going to go for the Ivy Cudgel and see where that gets us. And it doesn't get us very far, because unfortunately there's no switch and Lati is going to live on a smidgen of health. Going to go for that follow-up Dragon Pulse, not kill us of course. And unfortunately, we don't get the KO, and we take extra damage that we didn't really need to. I have no reason not to go for another Cudgel here, so that is the play I'm going to make. And hopefully, they just let me have this. Narrator, he did not, in fact, let him have this. Now, he is going to save the Lati to try and heal up later or as fodder, and is going to go into the Sceptile right about now, as we're going to go for the Cudgel. Now, that is going to do, excuse me, good damage, but not as much as I would like. And now, taking the risk that he is not going to go for Shed Tail. I'm not even sure if it's legal in this league. I believe it might be. But either way, I am going to get on out of there. But there is not a huge amount that wants to take multiple hits from Sceptile. It's not traditionally seen as a big offensive threat, but it does pretty decent into me. So what I'm actually going to do here is go into my Dust Noir, hoping that he's a physical set so I can get some Rocky Helmet, but if not, a Brick Break into Shadow Sneak should do the damage. So, I'm going to call my Ogerpon back, as I say, and go into Dust Noir. Drippy Greg is going to make his debut, frisking for the Life Orb and seeing Energy Ball. However, we are max invested with a careful nature, so we are going to be able to take 2 of those hits, and the Life Orb is only going to help put it into range. What I'm going to do here is go for the Brick Break on the potential that he might want to go into the Ting-Lu. But if he doesn't want to go into the Ting-Lu and just wants to get consistent damage, then Brick Break plus Life Orb plus Shadow Sneak should do for the Sceptile. So, in comes the next Energy Ball. As you see, we're going to take that with just a smidgen of health left. And Life Orb plus this incoming Brick Break damage should be putting him in range of a Shadow Sneak. I'm not going to waste any time. I'm just going to click it. In, as you'll see, comes that Shadow Sneak, and that is indeed going to take out the Sceptile. So, we draw first bloods, and unexpectedly, it's Dust Noir that does it. So, in comes Volcanion. Now, this thing is going to outspeed us all day, every day. Unfortunately, no Ting-Lu coming in, otherwise I'd have been pain-splitting faster than you've ever seen imaginable. But it is unfortunate that the Volcanion is what's going to come in. Looking like it's just going to want to take me out, so I'm going to go for Shadow Sneak, take my little bit of chip damage, and see where we go from there. So, Shadow Sneak going to come in and do a nominal little chip, every little helps, as unfortunately in comes Flame Charge. This is a little bit scary. This thing is now at +1 speed, which I'm not a huge fan of, but we do get some Rocky Helmet chip, which is always nice. Now, he's showing Flame Charge, he's probably going to have Dual Stab and one other move. Hard to say what that's going to be. It might be Sludge Wave or Sludge Bomb, whichever one that Volcanion gets, but even if it is, Primarina is still my best bet here, because it should be able to take any one given hit and get a light screen up. And that could be crucial in taking time to wear down this Volcanion. So Primarina is going to be my play, and I'm going to try and get a light screen up. So, in comes the Primarina. And as I say, I'm just going to try and get a light screen up here. No real reason not to do this. It should allow me with my Citrus Berry to take multiple hits from this guy, even if he is packing the poison offense. and then I can try and wear him down with Psychic Noise, and if he's going to switch out, then we go from there. But Light Screen is the play I'm going to make. In comes Earth Power, which is interesting. That does not do a whole huge amount anyway, and now the Light Screen is going to mitigate that even further. And now what I'm going to do is start spamming Psychic Noise. I feel like he would have immediately gone for the Poison Offense if he had it. So it's looking like he might be dual stab with Earth Power, which kind of bodes quite well for my my Hydreigon. But I do want to scout out the set a little bit more just in case. And this is why, because Steam Eruption comes in as it looks like he's fishing for a burn. Psychic Noise is looking like a 3-hit KO from there, which is fine. We still have a Citrus Berry to eat, so we should be in a good position to 1v1 this Volcanion from this position. So, second Steam Eruption going to come in, and that is going to put us into our Citrus Berry range, which is nice. We come out of this exchange at more health than we went into it, which is always great. And we're going to be able to get off yet another Psychic Noise, and this puts him into a tiny, teeny amount of health. At this point, a Moonblast is going to be enough, just in case he wants to switch out into the Ting-Lu. He switched out something at low health before, he might do it again. Who can really say? But I'm going to go for the Moonblast and just either pick this thing off or get some nice big chip damage on whatever wants to come in. So, in comes the final Steam Eruption from this Volcanion, and it is going to get the burn. A little bit unfortunate, but these things, they happen. It's not going to hinder Primarina all that much. Moonblast is going to do for the low health Volcanion, down it goes. And we are looking in a pretty good position, I believe, at 5-4 up. So in comes the Cinccino. Now, Cinccino is not a meme, it is a good mon, and we are taking it seriously. Insofar as there is not really all that much that I want to switch in, take a hit, and then take another. I do not have anything that outspeeds this guy, which is a little bit problematic. So I am actually just going to stay in here. And I believe in the end, what I'm going to do is click Encore, just in case they want to get greedy and set up a tidy up. That will force them out, and I can start getting Moonblast damage on other things. So Encore is going to be the play I go for, just in case they want to set up a tidy up. As you'll see in the end, that is not what they do. Just going to go for the Bullet Seed. No reason not to do this. 2 hits of Bullet Seed will be enough to take out my Primarina. And now we are facing down an, albeit not set up, Cinccino. So Mesprit is going to be my choice here, and Knockoff is going to be Order of the Day. If that thing has loaded dice, I want them gone. If he's going to go for the Knockoff here, we will take that. If he's going to go for Tail Slap, we will take that too with the help of our Citrus Berry. So I'm going to go for Knockoff, get rid of whatever item this thing is holding, I don't want any part of it, and we'll go from there. So, it is going to be the knockoff from Cinccino. That's going to do just under half of my health and get rid of my Citrus Berry, which is unfortunate. We're going to go for a knockoff of our own, do slightly less than they did to us, and get rid of the loaded dice. That is pretty huge. No longer are they guarantees max or near max amounts of hits on whatever moves they are going to go for. At this point, U-turn is looking like the play. I can't really mess around with this Cinccino. But with its loaded dice gone, that gives Iron Treads a little bit more freedom to come in and try and do damage to it. Now he's going to get out of there knowing that Cinccino is actually quite important to potential endgame plans. And now in comes the Lati, which has been saved as fodder. We're going to go for the U-turn and pick that guy off with Mesprit. So down goes the Lati. Mesprit going to be picking up a KO there with the U-turn. And now it is, well, I have 4 mons left compared to my opponent's 3, which is a good position to be in, but those 3 mons are Vaporeon, Ting-Lu, and that Cinccino, which can be quite difficult to take down. But with a sweeper and a couple of hard to take down mons left, Hydreigon is going to be the one I go into, because now is when I'm hopefully going to be able to break something, and as you'll see, in comes the Ting-Lu. Now, with my Choppleberry, I should be able to take any 2 body presses, and they might think they're safe because of the Vessel of Ruin, but for the fact that we are Dragon Dance physical Hydreigon. So, what I'm going to do is go for Dragon Dance on what I'm assuming is going to be a body press coming my way, and hopefully get 2 big Outrage hits off onto this Ting-Lu, and put it in range of something else. So, I am going to go for the Dragon Dance, getting myself to +1 speed and, more importantly, +1 attack. Ting-Lu is going to go for the body press, but of course, we do have that Choppleberry, Berry, and as you see, that does not do a whole huge amount. It's not going to 2-hit KO us. In fact, we're going to live the next one, and that, as I say, is going to give me 2 outrage hits, which could prove crucial in weakening down one of the hardest mons to take down in recent history, and indeed just Draft League. Ting-Lu is a monster. I've used it myself before, and I know how difficult it can be to KO. So Outrage is going to come in, and that's going to do just under half of what he has. It's not a 2-shot, but he is not going to be able to take us out from there either, which means now, with his leftovers coming in, we are going to get one more Outrage hit off on something, and either this Ting-Lu goes into the red, or the Vaporeon's going to take a big hit, or the Chinchino is just going to drop. So, in comes the second Outrage. That is going to put the Ting-Lu right the way down into the red. We do get the 2-turn Outrage, but that is not going to matter because there is a body press with my name on it. And down goes Hydreigon, not getting a KO, but putting this Ting-Lu very, very low down and in range of basically anything. Now, I'm going to go into my Iron Treads here. And what I'm actually going to start doing is setting up iron defences. This seems completely surplus to requirements, but I have a very good reason for doing it. The endgame is very finely poised, mostly due to the presence of that Chinchino that can outspeed my team and KO most things except for this Iron Treads. So, I set up an iron defence as the body press is going to come my way and do nothing. But I'm going to go for another one. Why am I doing this? Because I want to force in the Vaporeon after this Ting-Lu goes down, and I want to force it into a position where it has to attack. Why am I doing this? Because then I can sack my Mesprit and bring in my Ogerpon. So, second Iron Defense is going to go off here, and the body press is going to come in from Ting-Lu and do even less. Now is when I'm going to attack, fully in the knowledge that this will then force in the Vaporeon and I will switch out. Because this Ting-Lu goes down, Vaporeon comes in and is forced to go for Scald. He cannot afford to start trying to do Wish shenanigans or set up Calm Minds because I'll 2-shot with Body Press. So, I'm going to go for a Body Press on this turn, and that is of course going to take out the Ting-Lu. Down goes Ting-Lu, but with me being at +4 defense, Chinchino cannot come in. It has to be the Vaporeon, and he has to attack. And that, in that instance, I can go into my Mesprit. So, here comes the Vaporeon. I'm going to make the switch out play into my Mesprit, because if he's physically defensive, I might not even 2-shot with a +4 body press, because Vaporeon is just that bulky. So my play is to go into Mesprit and try and sack it to this Vaporeon, so that I can get my Ogerpon in to take out the Vaporeon. I need either Ogerpon in front of Vaporeon, or I need Iron Treads in front of Chinchino. That combination wins me the game. Any other one loses it for me. So, I'm going to get out of there with my +4 defense body pressing Iron Treads, and I am going to pull the switch into Lotus the Mesprit, as indeed the Scald comes in like we knew it would. This is what I needed to happen, because at this point I can start going for Psychic Noise. It will do big damage to the Chinchino if it comes in, and it will stop this thing from going for Wish shenanigans if that's what it wants to do. As you'll see, I'm not doing any damage to it, but that is fine. I just need it to take me out. As it is, he's going to go for Flip Turn, getting out of there with Vaporeon and going into the one remaining member of his team, which is going to be the Chinchino. But this can also work out for us. All I need is for Mesprit to go down. That's all I need. So what I'm going to do is go for any attack, basically, and hope that he just takes us out, because this way we can go back into Iron Treads. So, in comes the knockoff from the Chinchino. Thankfully, he didn't go for Tidy Up. Couldn't really take the risk in case I had a powerful move to hit him. But, with Chinchino not set up, I can go back into Iron Treads. And this is kind of where I needed to be. I don't need to set up Iron Defenses. I can just go for Earthquake. Earthquake will take out Chinchino. And given the damage that was done by Psychic Noise to the Vaporeon, it's looking like it has at least some specially defensive investment, so it's not fully Fizz Death. So Triple Axle will come in from the Chinchino, but it's fine because it won't KO us. And at this point, I can just go for Earthquake to take out the Cinccino. This is the position I needed to be in, Iron Treads in front of Cinccino, because now all that is left is a Vaporeon that doesn't look like it's fully invested in physical defense. And what I can do is just start spamming Earthquake, because eventually, if Iron Treads goes down, we can just go into Ogerpon and finish things off with an Ivy Cudgel. So, in comes the Vaporeon. I'm just going to lock in on Earthquake and start doing as much damage as I can before Iron Treads potentially goes down.
We may need to up the prices, sir. He's taken another win by the looks of things. Yes, sir. Yeah. No holding back for the next two. Over and out.
So we are going to outspeed, go for Earthquake, and that is a clean 2-hit KO from that range. The Vaporeon is going to go for the Wish, looking to try and get that back with the leftovers, but at the range of health it's at, and Earthquake is looking like it will take it out from here. I'm not going to mess around, I'm just clicking Earthquake no matter what. If they want to protect, so be it. I will get out of this with some damage on it in the end. They're not going to even go for the Protect. They're going to go down, not getting that Wish. Iron Treads finishes up, and that is going to be the game. So, great game there to Incog. Links down in the description below. Make sure you check them out. Yeah, that end game was very finely poised, and it was all going to be a case of who got who in front of what. And like I say, I needed either Iron Treads in front of Cinccino or Ogerpon in front of Vaporeon. That was what allowed me to win the game, because the Cinccino was going to outspeed, so I just needed to use my pieces as well as I could, and thankfully I still had Mesprit left as a pivot through which I could get into something else. So it worked out well in the end, that team, and we take our second win in a row. Sitting at 2-1 is a good position to be in at this stage of the competition. So, we're 2-1, looking good. 2 more games to go. Let's see if we can finish on a high. But I'm going to get out of here. Once again, links down in the description to Incog. Check them out. But I am going to get out of here. I've rambled on for far too long. So, my final thank you to you all for watching. And I guess with that, I will see you next time. Laters.